Most people think We Bare Bears is just a wholesome cartoon about three cute bears trying to fit into human society. But if you pay close attention to the details, the world around Grizz, Panda, and Ice Bear feels strangely artificial. Almost like these bears weren't meant to exist in the human world at all. The show follows three brothers, Grizzly, Panda, and Ice Bear, living together in a cave near a modern city. They use phones, social media, delivery apps, and even try to become internet famous. On the surface, it looks like a funny story about animals adapting to modern life. But the deeper you look, the more unusual their situation becomes. Because these bears don't just act smart, they act fully human. They understand technology, trends, and even complex social behavior. Somehow they learned everything about human culture without ever having a real human teacher. And then there's their famous bear stack. The three brothers constantly stack on top of each other to travel around the city. It's funny, iconic, and instantly recognizable. But when you really think about it, the stack is more than just a joke. It's the symbol of their survival. The bears only seem confident when they're stacked together. Separate them, and suddenly their personalities become much more vulnerable. Grizz becomes lonely, Panda becomes anxious, and Ice Bear becomes distant. The stack isn't just transportation, it's the only thing holding their world together. Now here's where the lore starts getting strange. The show eventually reveals flashbacks of the bears' childhood. In the episode arcs where they are cubs, the three brothers wander across the world completely alone. No parents, no family, just three baby bears traveling through cities, forests, and even dangerous places trying to find somewhere they belong. And somehow, they survive. Think about how unlikely that is. Three cubs with no protection somehow manage to cross entire countries without being captured, hunted, or separated. That raises a question most viewers never ask. Where did these cubs actually come from? The show never clearly explains it. There's no origin story showing their birth or their parents. Instead, they simply appear together and start wandering the world. Some fans believe the bears might have escaped from somewhere. Maybe a zoo, maybe a research facility, or maybe even something more mysterious. Because the way they behave doesn't feel natural for wild animals. And then there's Ice Bear. Out of the three brothers, Ice Bear is easily the most mysterious. He speaks in the third person, rarely shows emotion, and somehow knows an unbelievable number of skills. Ice Bear can cook professional meals, repair electronics, build complex machines, and even fight like a trained martial artist. In several episodes, he defeats groups of enemies with almost effortless precision. That level of skill isn't normal for a polar bear, or for almost anyone. The show eventually gives a glimpse of Ice Bear's past in a flashback episode. It reveals that when he was a cub, he was separated from his brothers and ended up living with a mysterious man who trained him in survival skills and discipline. This experience shaped Ice Bear into the quiet and hyper-competent character we see today. But that explanation opens an even bigger mystery. Who was the man who trained Ice Bear? The show never fully explains his background. He appears briefly, teaches Ice Bear important lessons, and then disappears from the story. That moment suggests Ice Bear's abilities didn't just come from natural talent. They came from intense training during a time when he was completely alone. Now think about the emotional impact of that. While Grizz and Panda grew up together, Ice Bear spent part of his childhood surviving in a completely different environment. When he finally reunited with his brothers, he had already become someone different, calmer, stronger, and more distant. But despite everything, he stayed with them. And that leads to one of the most powerful hidden ideas in the show. The bears aren't just trying to fit into human society. They're trying to build the family they never had. Grizz constantly tries to make friends and create fun experiences. Panda desperately wants acceptance and romance. Ice Bear protects the group silently, making sure nothing breaks their fragile balance. Every adventure, every awkward social moment, every attempt to go viral online, it's all part of the same mission. They're trying to prove they belong, but the world around them doesn't always agree. Throughout the series, the bears often face rejection. Humans sometimes treat them like strange outsiders, animals who shouldn't be part of normal life. Even when people like them, there's always a sense that the bears are slightly out of place in a human-dominated world. And yet they keep trying. That persistence might be the real hidden lore of We Bare Bears. It's not about secret conspiracies or hidden villains. It's about three brothers who were thrown into a world where they don't fully belong and choosing to stay anyway. They stack together, support each other, and keep moving forward no matter how awkward things get. Because as long as they stay together, the bears have something stronger than acceptance. They have family, and maybe that's why the stack never falls apart. Bareface,